have with us Gajanan Kulkarni sir. He is here to guide us about career as a company secretary, that is CS. He is BCom, LLM and FCS. He has experience of 31 years. Let's start with very basic question. What is CS?
CS is a company secretary. A company secretary is a principal officer of any company or a corporate if he is in service. And in practice, he offers various services such as secretarial and legal compliance services to the clients who are generally the companies.
There is a lot of difference between CA and CS, but can you please guide our students the exact difference between these two fields?
Yes, sure. CA indicates a chartered accountant, and as I explained, CS is a company secretary. See, in any company, these two positions of a chartered accountant and company secretaries are now, with a recent amendment in the Act, has come out as a key management personnel along with the director's position. So, a chartered accountant handles all matters relating to finance, accounting and preparation of balance sheets and other financial statements. A company secretary handles the secretarial matters relating to board meetings and shareholders meeting, and also the legal compliances required by any company.
When a student can apply for a CS course, and is there any eligibility criteria?
A student who has passed his or her 12th standard can apply for a foundation course of company secretary. That is, you can call it as an entrance examination for the CS course. Post this foundation, then the student can appear for the intermediate and final examination, which are now called as executives and professional examinations. So the eligibility, to answer you, is passing of 12th standard. I am told that even if you have admit card of 12th standard, you can take an admission to the CS course, and post passing of the 12th, you can appear for this examination.
Which different skills are necessary for a student if he wants to be a CS, and how he is supposed to develop those skills?
I can tell you the skills required for a company secretary. If you want to be specific, then he or she needs to have aptitude for legal field. I think that is the first and foremost, I would say. But before that, one must have a strong desire to do a professional course beyond the graduation. I think that is the first and foremost thing. Beyond this, there are no specific skills as such which a student should have for doing a company secretaryship. If a student is, has an inclination towards legal compliances or towards doing a particular things as per the law, possibly he or she can opt for this course.
Which subjects are necessary at graduation level, and is it necessary to have bachelor's degree in commerce?
There is no limitation as to whether you should be only a commerce graduate to appear for CS. Any graduate can opt for this course. As far as the subjects are concerned, generally if you have accountancy and legal subject like secretarial practice, that may possibly help in getting acquainted and developing a liking for these subjects, and then pursuing this course. But to answer you, these are the subjects which are preferred, but it is not necessary and it is not a must that you should have these subjects.
Can you please guide us about the course structure and syllabus of this course?
Sure. The course structure goes this way. If a student wish to appear after the 12th standard, as I mentioned, there is a course called a foundation course, which is generally an entrance examination for this. It has 4 subjects, and after passing of this course, then a student is required to appear for the executive course, which I'm told it has 2 uh, groups of 4 subjects each. After passing off this course, intermediate or executive course, then the final examination, which is called as a professional course, would have close to 3 groups. I'm told recently, I mean as recent as yesterday, that our institute, which is Institute of Company Secretaries of India, has recently revised the syllabus. Hence, students are advised to really look at the number of groups as well as the nature of papers or syllabus, because it has undergone a change. It is being changed now. But this is generally a structure of foundation, then executive and professional.
Which are the different reputed institutes in India to opt for a CS?
This course is conducted by a premier institute which is based out of Delhi, which is, as I mentioned earlier, the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. This institute has been set up by a special act of Parliament, which is Company Secretaries Act of 1980s, and this institute has close to 67 branches in urban and semi-urban cities, and some satellite branches in various parts of the country. They have an international branch as well.
Can you please guide us about the job opportunities and the actual work of a CS?
Yes. The job opportunities for a company secretary. I'll take a quick example. I was working in a bank, a nationalized bank, prior to joining here. Of late, it is about 28 years back. But now, today, if you see the opportunities, every company or any corporate who is a listed entity or having a specified share capital is required to have a company secretary, a full-time company secretary. But that is a very limited role, if you see. You must have heard, or you would come to know in future, a word called corporate governance. Corporate governance is the best practices which any company is supposed to carry. Company secretary is a position where you are supposed to take the best practices and initiatives which are good, like corporate social responsibilities, like ethical conduct, code of conduct, and all so on and so forth, with for a company. Number one. Number two, we being a listed company, we are, we should have a frame of rules and regulations to handle or to deal with the shareholders, who are generally called as the stakeholders. There are various government agencies such as Stock Exchange, Securities and Exchange Board of India, Reserve Bank of India, and so many others, where there are certain set of rules which a company secretary is supposed to follow them. So the opportunities are not only in the companies, but they are also existing in the various banks. Now Indian companies are expanding overseas, abroad. So setting up of offices abroad and doing a compliances of those countries is also a job of a company secretary. So the opportunities, if you see, exist in multiple companies, not only companies, with the banks and various consultancy firms.
Coming to the last question, according to you, what are the different future trends in this field?
If you're asking for the future trends, I must tell you, recently, the Companies Act, which is a Bible for company secretaries, has recently undergone a change. As late as December 2012, there was a companies bill which was presented and passed by the Parliament. It is expected to be an act now. The trend in this field is a self-regulation. Please know that earlier there used to be a certain set of rules which we are supposed to follow, and there is some other agency who will check that whether you have followed it or not. The entire machinery is moving to a self-regulation, that these are the rules which you are required to follow. Here are the professionals like CA and CS who should inform the regulatory authorities, look, all these rules have been followed, and they would go by that. So from a very contented field, the field is opening up, giving more responsibilities to the professionals like company secretary to come forward and say that these are the self-regulations and which we have followed this set of rules. This is number one. Number two, there are many managements of very reputed companies who are coming forward and trying to do the best and the next practices which is not expected of them by law, but they are voluntarily coming up to do the best practices. Here I see future growth for this profession. The reason being that while studying this course, we tend to get so ethical, so particular in following the rules and regulation, so that if you expand your imagination, you can definitely contribute to a best practices which are not codified as law, but you can possibly introduce that. So I feel that this is the trend in this field.
Today, Kulkarni sir gave us a very much useful information about pursuing career as a company secretary. This information will be really helpful for all those who want to go in this field. Thank you, sir, for coming here.
You're most welcome.